Welcome to Straight TV. Something that we need to think about, something we need to see it from a good distance to get the actual size, the actual dimensions, the actual conditions of the direction of our kids. Because the direction of our kids, sometimes we don't see it because on a daily basis, we get so involved in the routine that we don't really see, or sometimes, unfortunately, we don't even care. But the direction of my kids' life, the direction of my kids' future, the direction of my family will not only depend entirely on them, but I'm going to shape it. I am going to guide it, and I'm going to put it on the path. Whatever path you forged when they were kids, that's the path they're going to be on for the rest of their lives. My examples is what is going to form my kids. Not just me spewing out words, not just me trying to convince them, not just me telling them stories. No, my examples, my living, the way I live, my daily actions, my words, my thoughts, my points of views are going to shape their life. Kids think many things are okay in life when they're growing up. Kids do things that they may think it's normal. They may think it's okay until you let them know it's wrong. Until you point it out that that's not the way to say things. That's not the way to talk to people. That's not the way to approach this. They think it's okay. So many things in life, they are going to think it's okay until they see it on somebody else's life, or they don't see it on somebody else's life. Let's say that for them, it's okay. They grew up in an environment where they talk to each other in bad words in that household, cursing left and right or disrespecting themselves. They grow up thinking that that's normal until they go to a friend's house and they see that they don't talk to each other like that. They start distinguishing. Wait, then the way that we talk in our homes, it's not the way that we're supposed to talk to each other. If you don't care to tell them that some things are wrong in life, for whatever reason, but for one of the reasons why sometimes we don't care to tell our kids that this and that is wrong, it's because you don't want to hurt their feelings. Yes, society right now is so concerned and consumed by protecting our feelings in every shape or form that means also reprimanding our kids. And sometimes we don't even care to reprimand our kids. Sometimes we don't even want to care. We don't care to hurt their feelings. But if we don't take our time to teach our kids what's right and what's wrong, or also if we don't take our time to show our kids with our actions what's right and what's wrong, life will take care of that for you. Society will let them know for you that what they're doing is wrong. Yes, the courthouse is going to let you know what you did as parents is right or wrong. Many of our patterns in life are passed down by generation to generation. Yes, this is proven facts. Many of our patterns are being transmitted to our kids. Many of our patterns in life have been passed down generation by generation. We need to keep that in mind. Why? Because we want to disrupt some patterns that are not beneficial for our life. Some of our patterns are destructive. Some of our patterns hurt lives, hurt our life as well. Let me give you an example. If my grandfather or my grandmother was unfaithful and cheated, and also my dad is going to do the same thing, or my mom, and then it's going to keep being passed down. They see that pattern that it happens. It's okay. It's acceptable, I guess, in our lives. Or alcoholism. It's passed down to generation. Or also physical abuse. Yes. Mental abuse. Yes, it's passed down. It's been passed. There's patterns in our lives that we pass down generation to generation. We need to break those patterns. It's your responsibility to correct what you saw wrong as kids in your parents. Now that we've grown up, now that we have our own kids, there are things that now we see, wait a minute. what my parents did, this, or how they did things, this and this and that, or how they talk to each other. It's not right. I don't want my kids to talk like that. So it's our responsibility to correct what we saw back then. It's our responsibility to correct what we heard back then. It's our responsibility to correct what our parents did back then. We are not perfect. Our parents were not perfect, are not perfect. You may say if you have your parents still. So there are things that probably did affect you in a good way in your life. Maybe you saw that one of your or both of your parents were really responsible, hardworking. That's good. Responsible, hardworking, caring, but didn't show any affection because he didn't grow up with the affection. That's one of the patterns. See that? If we didn't grow up with a lot of affection in our lives, it's because he or she, our mother or our father, didn't grow up with affection as well. And that means that maybe their grandparents or their parents also didn't grow up with affection. So it wasn't passed down because they didn't practice it, being affectionate with as a family. Cheating, disrespect, carelessness, frustration, physical and emotional abuse, etc. Those are some of the patterns that we need to break, we need to correct, and we need to fix. When we as parents don't care for our self to be better, we are making it harder for our kids to overcome their hardships in their lives. Yes. Sometimes we expect for our kids, we tell our kids to, for example, let me give you an example. I know that going to church, it's good. It's a beneficial part of life, right? We see the benefits. We understand, we recognize the benefits. But we tell our kids, go to church. But I don't want to go. So therefore, I know that drinking is bad, but I don't want to stop drinking. See? I know that having a bad mouth is bad. It's not good, but I don't want to stop talking like this. So we expect our kids not to do it while we're doing it. It doesn't work like that. When we as parents don't care for ourselves to be better, we are making it harder for our kids to overcome these hardships because they are going to have these hardships as well. We can spend hours and hours and hours telling them what to do the right things, but if I don't show them the right things, if I don't guide them, if I don't show them the benefits of acting the correct way, they're not going to do it. A lot of the kids learn by seeing. A lot of the kids learn by that's why they go to school. That's why they see problem solving on the board. That's why they see examples on the screen, on the board, because visually they are also learning to overcome and become problem solvers, not just by listening, just by seeing as well. Kids are what we do. Let's keep that in our minds. Let's engrave that in our heads, in our hearts, in our life. Kids are what we do. Kids are always watching us. Kids are always hearing us, mocking us at the same time, copying us, because kids are what we do. But sometimes, and I've seen this, in a way, it upsets me because some parents don't care at all. Some parents do not want to be bothered. Not only they don't want to be bothered, but don't you dare say something to my kid. Because if I don't say anything to my kid, I don't want you to say anything to my kid. So we come to the next problem. If there is a disagreement in how to raise our kids in our household with our wife, with our spouse, that family is destined to completely fall apart. That family is destined. Those kids are destined to fail in life. Being at odds and at a disagreement on how to raise our kids is not gonna work out. So, and somebody could be adamant and stubborn. No, it can't. No, it can't. Nothing, no corporation, no business, no country, no empire ever works out when there is disagreements in the nucleus, in the center of it all. When a corporation, when a company, when a business are in disagreements, let's say the two VPs are in disagreements, or the VP and the president, or the CEO and the board, whatever. If they're in a disagreement on the direction of the company, and they cannot come to an agreement, you think it's going to work out? No, it's just a matter of time before the company falls apart. So what makes you think that your house is different? What makes you think that your methods are any different? If you are in a disagreement with your spouse constantly on the direction of your kids' life and future and discipline, it's going to fail. Sometimes we expect our kids to raise us, to understand us. That means also don't bother me. Yeah, do whatever you want. Don't bother me. I already have my plate full by working, by paying the bills, by providing what you need. So I think that should be enough. We want them to understand. We want them to completely undertake the emotional responsibilities of an adult. Because at what point I'm going to show that I don't care anymore? Because when we're in disagreement, we're going to get tired of even touching the subject or even discussing a matter. I just do whatever you want. I don't care anymore. Or vice versa. Even when what you think I'm going to want to talk to my spouse about anything that happened in school, or he got in trouble, our kid got in trouble. You think I'm going to talk to my wife for what? Because we're going to be in the disagreement. We're just going to blame each other. See how frustrating that could be, and disappointing and demoralizing. Good kids require a commitment and obligation from us as parents. If we want to have good kids, it requires a commitment from me and an obligation. Yes. A lot of the times, I grew up in a household of 6. And many times, we see how our siblings are different. They like different things. They have different emotions, different ways. So we're all different in a sense, right? I've seen that parents sometimes want to focus solely on the one that is a little rebellious, solely on the one that is constantly in trouble in school. And they forget about the rest. Because and they forget about the rest, not because they don't see them less. No, they think because the rest or one or the other one doesn't get in much trouble. Well, that one doesn't require a lot of. No, it does. It does require a lot of attention. The one that gets in trouble and the one that doesn't get in trouble also requires a lot of attention. Keep that in mind. Sometimes because they're not calling us from school that the one doesn't get in trouble, it's fine. It's okay. This one requires, oh my God, this one's a headache. Oh, this one. So we focused on trying to shape the rebellious one, but we forget the one that it doesn't really say anything. We forget about the one that doesn't really want to stay active at all. And he becomes a lazy person. And when you least expect it, whoa, he's already 18. You're still here. There's no future. You don't want to work. You don't want to do anything. You realize now that you didn't put the attention on that one too. That was calm. Yeah, he was calm to the point that he was too calm and lazy. I've seen that happen. I've seen that play out. And they're still gonna be there. Yeah, they're calm. They don't talk back. They are sweethearts, quote unquote. You're gonna have those sweethearts with you forever. Because they didn't learn about the responsibilities of working. They didn't learn the responsibilities of being independent. No, also the rebellious ones, just like the ones that are not rebellious, require a lot of attention. Required for them to keep them busy. Yeah, because sometimes we want the one that is being rebellious and always getting in trouble in school. Let's keep them busy so they don't have that energy to get in trouble. So we keep them busy in sports. We keep them busy in programs. We keep them busy in clubs. We keep them busy in, let's say, in instruments, music, whatever. You keep supposed to keep the other one busy too. The other one also needs to be busy like that. Because in life, everybody has responsibilities. In life, everybody is gonna have to pull their own weight. Let me ask you this. Do you know what kind of kids God wants from you? Have you thought about that? Do you know what kind of kids God wants from you? Because our parenting sometimes shows that I don't care what he wants from me. Sometimes my parenting shows I don't care what kind of kids he wants from me. You may not say it, but you're showing it. God wants, let me put it this way. We're not going to break our heads It's not going to be something out of this world, extraordinary. God wants good citizens, citizens that fulfill their obligations. God wants people that are responsible. Responsible people are good citizens, hardworking. They fulfill their civil duties as well. We've seen that when Jesus Christ was shown the coin and they asked him, what should we pay to only God or Caesar? Jesus Christ told them, I'm paraphrasing, give what Caesar's as Caesar's and give what God's to God. That means that God wants us to be also good citizens, because good citizens are also good Christians, responsible, hardworking, respectful, committed, caring, humble, noble. Do I need to keep going? God wants good citizens because he knows that good citizens are good Christians and good Christians are his pride and joy. But sometimes my actions say the contrary. I don't care what the world thinks. I don't care what my family says. I don't want them to tell anything to my kids. But we are the ones, I guess, I've heard parents say, in that pride, in that anger, I don't care. I do not care if I'm the one they call at 3 a.m. to get them out of jail, or the one they call at 12 at midnight that they got in an accident. Some parents don't care. But why are you going to put yourself through that? Why are you going to let your kids experience turmoil and despair for them to learn? Warning signs are there to prevent accidents. There is no need for us to learn not to do the wrong things when there is warning signs. There's a warning sign on the road, danger ahead, sharp curve ahead. It's letting you know, be careful. Why are you gonna not see the sign? Let's say there's no sign and you're gonna get into an accident going on a sharp curve. And then if you live, you'll know that that's a sharp curve. Why are you gonna wait to go through that? Sometimes we do the same things to our kids. We don't want to let them tell them anything. We don't want to bother them. The least amount of communication, the better. Here's your tablet, here's your phone, here's your iPad, do whatever you want. Just leave me out of it. So we don't care. We don't care what kind of kids God wants from us. It's a lot of work. Like I said, it requires commitment. It's an obligation that we need to commit to and fulfill. Stay tuned to the next one, guys. Gamma here.